Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we have another mail call video for you guys today. We have a couple things I'm going to be opening up today. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is for a deck that I am slowly building. I actually wanted to build it a long time ago, but at that time I was playing GKs, and then I was also playing the Legendary 6 Samurai support. And then I wanted to build it again when pendulums were first coming out because they got some good support at the end of the Zeal era, the Zexal era. And I was like, I'll build it. But then I looked into it and everything had been inflated because everybody was anticipating it to be a good deck. So I decided eventually now I had a little bit of money in my pocket, just a little bit. So I decided to go see how much the stuff was. And it was very cheap. So I started picking up the expensive things, and I'll probably pick up the cheaper things down the road to build the deck. So eventually, sometime in 2017, this deck will be built for sure. And apparently, it just won a regionals, I think in Texas. And I think Asian Persuasion was actually playing the deck. I've seen his deck profile, so I'm pretty sure that was, unless somebody else has talked with it, I'm pretty sure it's his. But yes, the deck I'm trying to build, guys, is actually Scraps. It's a deck I've always liked. But the problem is, when it first came out, it was pretty expensive along with plants, and I was playing GKs, which was a cheaper variation and pretty good against the meta back then, especially with Star Strike Blast and Recruiter, and Descendant came out before that, I think. So it was a pretty cheap deck to build, and it was pretty good against Scraps and everything. So that's why I built that instead, and then I wanted to build it at the end of the Zexal era. Because, ooh, that's so beautiful. Because the fact of the matter was, because they had the field spell card, Scrap Factory, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a great card, and everybody was like, Supply Squad, and this is just broken. You know, back when people thought Supply Squad was going to be played in every single deck out there, there was a time. But I decided to try to pick it up, but everything had been inflated because everybody was anticipating the deck to be like a meta relevant deck, which it topped maybe a regionals or so, and nobody ever played it. And then I decided this past year, I was like, what's the 2 decks I really want to build this year that are old school decks? Okay, well, Ninjas is one of them. Okay, that's pretty cheap. What's the other one? Seto. Scraps. So I decided to build Scraps, which is literally, I think, like the last old school deck I can think of that I haven't built, really, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I have just about everything. So this is like the last old school deck I'll probably build. Like, go back, buy the cards because I don't have them, and build the deck. I have a lot of the other decks, but yeah, Scraps. And this is a Scrap Dragon Ultra Rare. Not First Ed, but I used to own one of these, but they were so expensive back then. I sold it to pick up some other cards back in the day with GK stuff, and I think I pulled it. I sold it for some, like a Pod Duality or something like that, I think back then, because I needed it for my GK deck, something like that. But I used to have one, but now I have another one because I think it looks so beautiful. That is just such a beautiful card. But I wanted one at least of that nature that was hollow. I have 2 super rare Scrap Dragons, but I think I picked up one more just because. But yeah, that's the deck I'm trying to build for you guys. I really love the deck. And then I saw Asian Persuasion talk with it down in Texas, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's just awesome. The deck can win in the meta. I had no idea. 2 Scrap Chimera. I need to get a 3rd one. Not really banged up that bad. It's an old card, who cares? But they're still in pretty decent condition. They're just a little scratched up. Nothing unless you like hold. Yeah, it's fine. But I just needed to get 1 more Scrap Chimera, 1 Supply Squad, and the rest of the stuff is pretty much $1 or less. So I'm very happy with that investment. So 2 Scrap Chimera. And let's see what else we got in here. That card is really good because this card is literally the kind of like Battling Boxer Yoke, or Battling Boxer Quick Hitter. I forget my Battling Boxer cards, but the one that you can bring back the last draw, and then you go into lead yoke. It's kind of like that, but you only can go into synchro plays, but you can go into rank 4 plays actually, which is the nice thing. So that's what makes it a good card, because exceeds. Next we have two scrap twin dragon. You only need 2 of these. I've seen people run 3 of these way back in the day. Me personally, 2 of them is all you really need. 2 scrap twin dragon. If you've played scraps before and you think I need a 3rd one, let me know, but I've always just run 1 of them. And I'm surprised that, I mean, this was the most expensive card that, like, when the stuff got hyped up years ago, because the thing came out Straw Strike Blast, very hard set to get things out of. So, yeah. Very, very good card. So, got those hollows. So, I was trying to get just the expensive stuff. I'll get the rest of the stuff later, probably, as time goes on. That's my plan. Next up, we got Scrap Orthros, which I forget what set he came out of off the top of my head, honestly, but 3 Scrap Orthros, which is a very good card for scraps. He's a secret rare. He was pretty pricey, I remember, back in the day, because back, in the late Zex 5Ds era, you had plants. You had a whole bunch of plant variations, plant engines, things splashing plants into them. You had, what we had back then? We had zombies were always around, so there were still zombies floating around here and there. You also had like a lot of hyperactive synchro decks. At the end, you had TG agents and agent dot decks and things of that nature with TG agents and stuff. And I played GKs and 6 Samurais. So because they really were good against these decks, which a lot of people played back then, which was plants and scraps, because they were really high competitive decks at that time. And I played the anti-meta. So, well, 6 Samurais weren't anti-meta, but that was like later on towards the end of the 5Ds era, early Zexo era. But beside the point. Yes, hope you guys enjoyed this opening. I know it's not that much, but it's something I will be building going into 2017 here. Pretty much, I just need. I got the most expensive cards, really. Already have a Scrap Dragon. I just need a 3rd one. Already got 2 Scrap Twin Dragons. Okay, we're good. Got my Orboses. I just probably need to get 1 Scrap Chimera, 1 more Scrap Dragon. I already got another one floating around here. And then just the rest of the stuff, Supply Squad, and the rest. But yeah, it'll be a deck I'll be building as I go into this year. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.